Is what I'm shooting on the best vlogging camera in the world right now? Let's take a Jam Life tech adventure. So welcome guys to Jam Life Tech Talk. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Drop a like on the video if you do enjoy it, and also ring that bell so that you can get notified of all the videos coming up on this brand new ZV-E1 camera we have. So we've only had the camera for a couple of days now, so what I wanted to do initially is just take it out with me and test a couple of things on the camera. We're going to be doing a lot of side-by-sides. We're going to show you and how to navigate the menu and all those type of things, but just for this weekend we've just taken it out with us to test a few things and to see what it looks like in terms of vlogging. So we're out in the beautiful Sydney Harbour today. Yesterday we were at Bondi Junction doing a bit of shopping, so we've got a bit of footage of that to show you as well. So we do have a microphone sitting on top of the camera, and that's the ZV-E10 microphone from Sony. So we should get some pretty good audio going into this camera. It's a really popular one for vloggers. We've also got one lens that we've been using over the last 2 days, and that is the 14mm 1.8 G Master from Sony. There is some new stabilization that I really want to test out in this camera, and that gets us a little bit of crop. So we do want to use a nice wide lens like this, just to make sure we're in the shot when we've got that stabilization on. I'm really got my fingers crossed about this stabilization. I really want it to do well. Apparently it's the best stabilization we've ever seen on a Sony camera, and it's comparable to, say, you know, the GoPro. So really looking forward to that, because I know a lot of vloggers who really want good stabilization. So let's take it out and test all of that. Before we do, I just want to address a couple of things for me that I've noticed so far. The first thing, the lack of EVF. Now, I've got used to the EVF on the A7S3 lately, so it's taken a little bit of adjustment for me. I feel like peaking and zebra has really helped me. Peaking, you know, tells you what you're focused in on. You have to rely on the Sony autofocus though. It is really good now on this camera. It's the same autofocus inherited from the A7R5 that's just come out, so it'll be really interesting to see how it performs. I have tested it out on an animal, our cat at home, but it, you know, it focuses in on trains, it focuses on planes, animals, humans, you know, you name it. Intelligent autofocus, they're calling it. So we're hoping that performs really well. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the price. Around about $2,000 US, 2,100 the last I saw at release. We're paying here in Australia about $3,700 odd dollars for it, so it is quite a pricey camera. So you've got to be pretty serious about content creating to want to afford this camera, and of course the full frame lenses quite expensive as well, so you've got to be pretty serious. But when you think about it, this camera probably does more things, should I say, than an A7S3, and it's considerably cheaper than that. So it's a good way into full frame for a lot of content creators, I would say, particularly with the same sensor as the A7S3. So you're getting that great dynamic range, you're getting that dual ISO when you film in logs, so that's fantastic as well. And you know, this camera should perform really well also in auto. So let's get out and let's have a look at the stabilization, let's have a look at how the picture looks, let's have a look how it handles a day or two of vlogging. So here we have a walking stabilization test, guys. So just a quick one. I've got that top tier of stabilization, that's the dynamic active stabilization. As you can see here, hope it's performing well. I'm really hoping it does. I'm sure it will be. And what do you guys think? Dynamic active. Got a 14mm lens here as well, so that should really be helping out. Dynamic active stabilization. Let's have a look at that dynamic active stabilization again. And this time we're going to walk up some stairs and see how it copes. Walking up the stairs here at the Opera House forecourt. When you walk up the stairs, this is the view you get. If you haven't been to Sydney Harbour, it's probably where you want to come and get a good couple of photos, I'd say. And looking out the other side there, got the naval base, if you can see it. I know it's a wide lens, so no zooming on this with dynamic active stabilization, but it's the other side over to the botanical gardens over there. It's the Sydney Botanical Gardens. What's turned into a beautiful day here. And here's a production setup on the forecourt here. Inside out at the Opera House. Looks like they do some of the shows out here in the forecourt. Don't know if that's a new thing. I haven't seen that before. They do concerts out here, but I'm not sure if this is a new thing attached to the Opera House or it's been here for a while. Not sure. Let's have a look at a vlogging test with dynamic active stabilization and see how it does, because I'd be really interested how this performs on this new camera. It's all about the stabilization, because when you're walking along you want good stabilization. You really need to have it, unless you've got a gimbal, but we really don't want to take those with us anymore. So I'm really hoping that we've got some good stabilization with dynamic active here with a 40mm lens. So now let's take a look at a few shots I took around Sydney Harbour so you guys can judge for yourself the image quality coming out of this camera. And here's a shot of our cute cat Lucky. You can see here I've selected animal eye focus and it's locked onto her eyes, even though the light's not so good, creating a tack shot with some great bokeh in the background. And here's an example of that eye autofocus. We can't see Emily's eyes, but tracking her very, very well. And here's another example of that great autofocus tracking Emily so well here. And here's just a quick example of the slow motion on the Sony ZV-E1, which is very easy to get to now. This is 1080, so 4 times slow motion, but it's very easy to get to with that S&Q switch now on the camera. So guys, what did I think / learn in the first couple of days with this camera? Firstly, the stabilization was great. Doesn't take away every little movement, but most. Love the dynamic active stabilization. Was spot on, although in low light I found that I need to crank up the shutter speed a little. 200 was good enough to get rid of the jitters. This was great news for someone like me who struggles to get a stable shot without help. But what comes with the dynamic active is a crop. And it's quite large too. Large enough that clear image zoom becomes unavailable in this mode. And that's a bit of a bummer when you have a prime lens like this one and you want that versatility. The crop was bad enough, in fact, for me to favor the 14mm 1.8G Master over the 16-35 f4 power zoom, which was a shame because it has a zoom, yes, and it's a little lighter. And yes, 2mm really does make a difference. I have heard that even the active stabilization is better on this camera. That warrants some testing, as I would really love to be able to use the lighter, more versatile 16-35mm. Love that power zoom as well. Image quality was great, just what we're used to with the A7S III, and low light performance is what we're used to with that sensor as well. Overheating, in my experiences so far, I never experienced it. Did I miss the EVF too much? Not really. I did miss focus on a couple of shots, but not many. For me, it would just take a bit of getting used to, but the peaking and zebras did help a lot. A couple of things I don't like were the micro HDMI and the one card slot instead of two, so you can't back up your footage. But I can get over that when I realize this is a vlogging camera. With the amount of features and the fact that it is full frame in that little body, if you use it for what it's intended, this is a damn fine camera. Will I sell my A7S III? No, it's a professional camera built for a different reason. But is this the world's best vlogging content creators camera? Absolutely, hands down. I love it, and it is already the camera I will take with me the most. I still can't believe there's all that camera in such a small body. So lots more videos to come on this one. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, drop a like, all that good stuff. And also, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the Sony ZV-E1? And we'll see you guys on the next Jam Life Tech Adventure.